Welcome to the Diversity of Thought podcast. I'm your host, Kwasi. And today we're going to do a deep dive into Dame Dash. Not really a deep dive, I shouldn't say deep dive, just something I've been paying attention with about Dame over the last couple of months. Let's check this out.
Because he sounds stupid when he tries to talk articulate and do interviews. He's squinting Tarantino. He's squinting. I mean, it's just not entertaining to look at. I'm not hating, but I just don't think the rhythm is there like it was before. And I guarantee you that show, a sports show, that show only exists because of Mace. So I remember Gilly telling me personally, like, nah, we told Cam we can't do the show without Mace. And that's why he went and got Mace. But that show wasn't anything, and they wouldn't even do it without Mace. So he had to put his tail between his legs, because what he was telling me was, I can't with Mace because Mace was, lying about God, and I don't play with God. But for the money, all of that went out the window.
So a couple of years ago, right, Dame Dash was on Breakfast Club talking about men speaking about other men business and them calling them chatty parties and stuff. So when I was paying attention to this interview today, and it's not the first time he did this, right? There's been a consistent theme as of late when it comes to Dame Dash. He's been a chatty party, yo. Dame used to be one of them exceptional men in business, especially music business. He was somebody that, at one point in my life, I wanted to be a manager, music manager and stuff. He was somebody who business strategy and business plan and how aggressive he is in business, I admired. No, his fall from grace is ridiculous, yo. But it shouldn't take away from his legendary status as a music mogul and as a businessman, as an entrepreneur. He has that. It's solidified because he was able to turn the RocAFella brand into something exceptional, state property brand, Rockaway, all that stuff. He had his hands in that. But this Dame Dash now, gossip, messy, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a fan of this. And I used to live in Harlem, and he's a legendary Harlem figure, man. So I don't know what happened to him. And I think he did this interview on the Art of Dialogue. I gotta make sure give them shout out because they do good interviews. But his new version of Dame is not to be, I don't admire it. I don't. Sometimes when he talk, I cringe. I do love the back and forth with him and Cameron. It gives the good content, and it's very, very comical when they go back and forth and stuff like that. But right now, how Dame is, man, and how I perceive him, he fell from grace, man, And I think it has a lot to do with, even though he won't admit this, but I think internally, he feels some type of way about Jay-Z's status. And he know that he was instrumental in Jay-Z getting there, and how he's not acknowledged for the part he played in Jay-Z's greatness. So, that's one of them things I was thinking about. That's one of the random thoughts I wanted to address. And I'm glad because I have a platform where things like this I could have a conversation about. And, leave it up for you guys to dissect and give me your thoughts, But Dame used to be the man, bro. He used to be the man. He poured into Kanye, he poured into Jay-Z, he poured it into B.D. Siegel. He had three of the best musicians at one point, so he had to get back to his old glory, man. He had to stop with all his interviews and messing around, talking crazy, talking spicy all the time and stuff like that. Hopefully one day I meet him because he is a legend in the space. I just want to be able to articulate how I see him now. Does my opinion matters? Probably not damn well. He probably don't care about that because he said he stands on man's principles. That's one of the things I respected about him. And he also used to say invest in women. Because the cornerstone for a good man having success, you should invest in women, and the woman and them will be able to insulate and pour into you and help you push and elevate your station. So I always believed in that when he said it, That's one of the things I admire about him, the courage it took for him to say that. But this new version of Dame is not my cup of tea, And I'm an older gentleman, so I've been around. I saw the ascension of Roc-A-Fella and everything. I was there for all of that. And I also lived in New York. So when they was hot, I was outside in New York. So I was enjoying being outside, partying and all that stuff. So this new version of Dame, I don't like it, man. Dame, you gotta get back to your glory, bruv. And, tell me guys your thoughts. Like, subscribe, and share. Until the next episode, peace out.